Hello, I'm the Anime Viewer 66, and today I'm going to be reviewing one of my favorite animes of all time, or at least my favorite animated movie of all time, which is Summer Wars. Now, in the world of Summer Wars, basically it's the same as ours, except for one key difference. They have replaced the internet with a more safer, more secure version of the internet known as the World of Oz. Just basically the Internet 2.0. It's a lot safer, it's a whole lot more connected, the entire world can do basically everything they could have done on the Internet, plus more. Now you may be asking yourself, okay, that's cool and all, but how does this actually work into the story? Well, our main character, Kenji, happens to work on the World of Oz, even though he's only a teenager. Basically, he just does the cleanup jobs, running through, making sure the system works, all that sort of stuff. But he is pretty much a child prodigy because I don't want to give the big plot thing away or anything, but let me just say this. This guy is apparently so smart that the way that he helps to fight the enemy in this, I suppose you could say, is he does math. A lot of math. And never before in an anime have I ever watched someone do math and had ever cheered. Like, no one, not in anime, not in cartoon, not in real life, have I ever seen anyone do math. And then I just burst out cheering, like, yeah, do that math, yeah, don't forget to multiply, yay! Okay, I know that sounds like the most nerdy thing you have ever heard in your life, and that's because it is, but that was how that scene went when you eventually get to it, how he starts fighting the enemy in this, and it's that bloody cool. One day a girl named Natsuki asks Kenji if he will go with her to her grandmother's birthday party over the weekend out in the country. He agrees because, well, a hot girl just asked him to go to a party. Yeah, why would he not agree? And there we lie a bit of a problem, because when he gets there, she actually has told her entire family and her grandmother that he is her boyfriend. This is where a bit of the stupid comes into this movie, and I hate to say it because I do love this movie a lot, but I will say this is kind of stupid for two reasons. One, why would she lie to them? There is no point behind it. The reason they give is because she didn't want her grandmother to find out that she didn't have a boyfriend before she passed away because apparently she was ill in health. But it doesn't even make any sense why the grandmother would even care if she had a significant other before she died or not. Because, honestly, Natsuki is still pretty young. Why would she care? I mean, if Natsuki was like in her 50s or 60s, I could see why the grandmother might care. She's worried about what would happen to her. Is she going to be well taken care of? All that kind of stuff. But Natsuki is still very young, or at least, like teenager. So why would her grandmother care so much? And it doesn't show in the movie that she really cares if she's dating or not. There's no reason behind why she would think that she has to have a boyfriend before she goes to her family reunion. Was it for bragging rights or something? I don't know. This really doesn't make sense. But I suppose, as a wise critic once said, sometimes the needs of the plot outweigh the needs for logic. But still, it's kind of stupid. And so they finally get to Natsuki's grandmother's house. And this is where the movie is really broken up into two parts. The first part we see with the family, because Natsuki has a very, very, very big family. And because of that, we get to see a lot from that family, and I'll get more into that in a minute. But the second part is with the World of Oz, because within the World of Oz, there's actually a virus that has been unleashed. Now, I won't get into all the details of how the virus was unleashed and all this, but basically all you need to know is that Kenji was blamed for a crime he didn't commit, which was releasing the virus. And now, with all the technical detail out of the way, let me go ahead and give you my opinion of this animated movie. Personally, I love it. It's one of the greatest animated movies I've ever seen before. There was a lot of things to really like in this. I'm going to go through a little bit of a list of what I liked about this movie and what I didn't like about this movie to give you an idea of what I feel about it. So, we'll first start out with the stuff I didn't like, which was mainly the stuff where, why in the world was this the setup to begin with? It didn't really make sense that he would be going over there to her family for no good reason. I've already gone into why I don't think that's a good idea. But yeah, that was just contrived. The second thing is that why in the world do they always have to have the whole, oh no, this person is accused of a crime they didn't commit thing? That annoys me to no end. Now let's get into the things that I really did love about this movie. First off, I love the family dynamic because each of these characters in this family felt like actual family members. Like you know people like this, or you have people like this in your family. Like you had the older guy who is just like, oh yeah, let's have fun. All back in my day, all that kind of stuff. You have the crazy obsessed sports fan girl that is like, or guy depending on your family, but in this case it's a girl who is way, way, way too obsessed with sports. You have the older, more mature figure being in this movie, the grandmother, who gives good advice, who is always kind to her family, and is also very forgiving and all this kind of stuff. You have the crazy, crazy planning women who basically plan out every little thing that's going to happen during the family reunion, and if anything in that little plan goes wrong, oh, you would think the world fell apart. You have that one kid who is really, really, really obviously a risk cutter, but no one wants to say anything. You have that character who is obviously a jerk and none of the family likes them, but he's still allowed to come around because, well, he's family. Basically, what I'm trying to say is there's a bunch of different archetypes in here that work so well. Like, this legitly feels like a family. In fact, I would say the best time to watch this would be on, like, Thanksgiving or Christmas or something like that. Sometime where you have a lot of family together, or a family reunion. Just sometime where there's a lot of family together, because this really is a family movie. And, of course, I couldn't talk about this animated movie without talking about my favorite character in it, and probably my favorite character of all times, which is the grandmother. Okay, I cannot express enough how cool this grandmother is. Like, seriously, this woman is... there is no other word to describe her but boss. She is a boss. If you looked up the word boss in the dictionary, it would be a picture of this woman. She is that bloody cool. Like, I cannot say why, because it would be incredibly spoilerish and it would just ruin it for you guys. But trust me, go watch this movie, watch the incredibleness that this grandma is, and then tell me she is not the incredibly awesomeness that I have just said. Because, seriously, she has taken the place as one of my favorite, if not my most favorite character of all times. And so at the end of the day, I give this animated movie 5 stars out of 5. Yes, there was a few hiccups here and there along the way, but it came out to an incredible ending and an incredible story that is pretty much timeless, I would think. Yeah, there may be some things like The World of Oz that may seem a little weird, but this story and its message is pretty much timeless. I suggest watching it whenever possible. The soonest time you can watch it, and then after you've watched it by yourself, watch it with your family, because this is indeed a family movie. I am the Anime Viewer 66. Thank you, and good night.